Cut to the Chase podcast, guys. Thank you again for tuning in for another episode. This week, I sit down with my boy, my pal, Jeff London. Jeff is actually the VIP director for Big Night Entertainment Group, and he also is the co-host of I'm the DJ, He's the Promoter podcast. Jeff is a very interesting guy. He's been in the industry, music and entertainment industry for over 20 years, and he has a lot of stories to share. And I had a great time. He had some time to sit down and come to Beacon Street Studios here in Boston, and you guys will enjoy this episode. Thank you very much, guys. You're going to do like a
Whenever you're ready.
thumbs up type thing, Nick, like you usually
No,
do?
you're good to go. Just go whenever. You're good to go.
I was like so happy. I don't know, before we even get started, okay, I just want you to know, like, I was like, when we met you downstairs, and I said, "What up, Jeff?"
Right.
And then as we were coming up the stairs and we came into the studio, I literally said out loud, like, and this is the very first time, like, we've had like a discussion in the room. I'm like, the first thing I say when Jeff London's in the room, I need to lotion my legs. and then I just instantly was like, what the fuck, what? You got Jeff London in the building. What are you talking about? The first thing you say is, I need to lotion my legs.
Hey, we're comfortable enough. We've been friends for a while. we need to lotion the legs. It's important. It is a nice day out, though.
It's fucking gorgeous in Boston.
Unbelievable day. These are my favorite days.
You're like would you consider yourself like a Boston guy? You're
I'm a West Roxbury original, so yeah, I'd say Boston, yeah.
Boston, yeah.
Went to Boston public schools, yeah, so Boston. Yeah.
Boston, yeah. Like these type of days is what we live for, like in Boston as New Englanders.
I mean, I always say, like, we have those harsh winters and everything, but it makes you appreciate the nicer weather. If we had this all year round, I don't think we'd be as grateful. You have the coldest winter ever. Mm-hmm. Which I think lasts longer and longer each year. Actually, this was kind of mild, but it makes you appreciate these days. If we had this constantly, like this North Carolina kind of like weather,
yeah,
I don't think we'd appreciate it as much.
Nah, I agree. It's actually different because do you feel like people, especially as Bostonians, people like they automatically like their attitude changes once the weather gets a bit nicer? Or we still continue to have that inherent like get the fuck away from me?
Oh yeah, I mean it's still like that. But, with the weather, the clothes get lighter as we see, and now we have legs to lotion.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was like, what are you doing, Abel? Like, this is crazy. But I was thinking, yeah, you're actually right. We've known each other for a while, like a little while. Like, this is the thing. Like, my producer, Nick, like, we met, like, a few years ago.
Okay.
So basically, you've known me. Like, I was thinking the other day, I was like, Jeff London has pretty much indirectly but directly have seen like the evolution of Chase in a way. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Right, like in a way, it's like I met you in the nightlife industry, right? You're pretty much like the guy, the guy in Boston. If any, pretty much, artist, talent that's coming in Boston, they pretty much go through you and your team, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
there's other people.
Over 20 years of doing it, yeah, the connections have definitely been there. But, being in the nightlife, yeah, absolutely, with talent closing, in, especially, with the new role and, even beyond that, when I first started, with 617 and just some of these nights, off nights that we used to do, which were bigger almost than the weekend nights.
Right.
Especially when talent rolled into town or artists or, whatever it may be. Athletes, the off nights, we'd always host them and things like that. I think that's where the connection started, and then the connections just keep rolling through. And now, as we do, with Big Night, who I'm with now, just we host more artists and
right,
talent wise, especially DJs and things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of DJing, you for we even getting to that, you was a DJ too, right?
Oh yeah. So I started. Yeah, I think
crazy.
Don't want to date myself, but in the late 90s, yeah, with the turntables. And that's kind of how I broke into the industry.
So
DJing.
So if I was to be like, yo, Techniques 300, 1500,
it's 1200s. 1200s, yes.
Yeah, he's sharp.
Yeah, with 1200s. But yeah, I started with that and then kind of evolved, with Ace and 617, DJing for them. And then I think how it became is what we had like a big DJ come in and out. I didn't want, and Ace said, you're not DJing that night. and he was like, "Why are you promoting things like that?" And I brought a lot of people. So as I always say, I don't know if I brought a lot of people. It was became a good promoter,
Okay.
or that it was a way for Ace to tell me that you suck at DJing, be a promoter. So I didn't know which one it is, right. But I stuck with the promotion route and VIP host route, and that panned out. So yeah, I don't know if the DJing route would have panned out.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, but I still have the love for DJing, and it's awesome to see the DJs come through and the talent and how the evolution of DJing has changed. It's just crazy. Another
lens how I see you. I see you when I see you, I see hip hop.
Hip hop to the core, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you that. Like when I see you, I'm like, you rep like you're hip hop.
I appreciate that.
Like you know what I mean? Because you know.
And I do love all styles of music, but yeah, hip hop's to me, especially like we always talk that golden era and stuff like that. Yeah. Actually, this, which is even after the golden era, but even this Friday we have Ludacris, so something like that.
Oh, that's Nicky's guy.
Yeah.
Why do you just assume I like Ludacris?
Dude, you talked about like Nelly like a few episodes ago.
Yeah, we had Nelly last week actually.
Nelly's a different story. Nelly's a legend.
All right, I have one for you though.
Okay.
Some people said last week Nelly's the person that killed hip hop.
Yes, that was
fair. I could see that. He made it a little too too poppy.
Okay.
I'd say 50. Yeah. See, I always think Ja Rule killed hip hop because Ja Rule got exposed. Nelly was kind of just like, this is roller rink music. Like this is what it is.
First of all, I just want to let you know something. I'm just gonna say this right now. Yeah. Fuck it, dude. Something about fucking two white guys talk about fucking hip hop more than me, dude. My dick gets hard, dude. I fucking go ahead, son. Like I love this shit. Get into it. Like let's go, Nelly.
I'm glad you brought the lotion today for the legs. Was it really for the legs?
No one's gonna be ashy in this room.
No, like it's crazy. That's actually because I heard that Jeff that on an interview, like that narrative about Nelly.
Yeah.
I never thought. I mean, I'll listen to all music, whatever, and I respect any artist and any talent.
Absolutely.
Especially once you get to a Nelly level, the motherfucker still sold 10 million records like that.
Oh no, I mean,
like it's crazy.
There's no doubt in my mind he's absolutely talented.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Ja Rule, set tones, but
so hip hop, huh? You think he? It was.
Well, I mean, it's not my claim.
No, you're not sure. Yeah, right.
But I mean, Ja Rule will be another one. But then you have the things like that. I always judged, like, especially hip hop back in the days, if you aren't a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Then you were making it,
Yeah, making
and
it.
Ja had, can I get a what,
Yeah, that.
That was that. What was that on Rush Hour 2 soundtrack?
That was a big one.
That was a big one. Those soundtracks
DMX on the Jet Li movie.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, that's crazy you said that because we grew up in an era, because me and you're the same age, I would assume. But I grew up in the 90s. Yeah. So for me, the soundtrack actually was the lens to be introduced to like singles and stuff.
100%.
Everyone, it was like everybody needed to get on a soundtrack for a movie. Perfect example for me, Above the Rim.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah. What you think?
I mean, it's just like that. The Above the Rim. I mean, you want to talk about like those kind of
very fitting, like Sirens too.
Yeah, I mean, another great one. I mean, the like Belly soundtrack, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my god,
amazing. Yeah.
Exit Wounds.
Fucking this guy.
Exit Wounds, and then Cradle to the Grave as the follow up.
Pretty good.
Just great soundtracks.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think. Well, I think I know the. Again, I met you very interesting because I was in a very, very kind of interesting part of my life at that time. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if you remember the first time I saw you, but I'm sure you kind of like know, I don't know how we were introduced or like how I hit you.
I don't remember actually.
Wow, that's fucking wow. I guess we're not friends then. Like, I will say this. I used to go to we used to promote at District.
Yep,
Wednesday nights, which was on a Wednesday night back then was like for me and for a lot of people in Boston that was a place to be.
It was a
And
place,
it was fucking nice for the amount of that small space, but the energy they created, I couldn't like, I just couldn't understand how you guys got that like so many quality people in there.
Yeah, it was. I think it fit 150 was the capacity. We probably put a couple hundred in there, and just Wednesday night it was unbelievable. Yeah, the amount of it wasn't the amount of people; it was the quality of the people on that Wednesday. I mean, it was the industry people, but it was the athletes. It was the
even people that were like working like working class people who actually like but they were doing great for themselves. Like they
must have called out on Thursdays a lot. Well, I mean, I can't. Yeah,
because I met people like because I wasn't like no athlete or anything, which you probably already assumed. Like when I hit him like, can I get a table? He's like, I don't. Okay, like and then I walk in. He's like, all right, I get okay.
So it's District Wednesdays we met. All right.
District Wednesdays, yeah. And then I was like, do you have? And then the second, and one of the major questions I had actually was, do you have parking up front for the car?
Nice.
Because like,
what was the answer?
And the answer was like all the time was like, you was like, yeah, like you was like, yeah, I'll make room, because we used to drive up in the fucking Lamborghini fucking Gallardo, all the fucking like, and you'd be like
the yellow one,
yeah,
I remember that,
yeah, and then Jeff always would be like, yep, come in. This is the thing about you which I always respected about you, which is the fact that no matter who, like, I mean, in my personal opinion, no matter who you were, you always was like the same dude, in every situation, like
I appreciate that.
Like I felt like in every situation, no matter how volatile whatever the situation was or how minuscule it was, if you were dealing with this particular athlete or this figure or just a fucking like me, just a regular guy, like it just always was like the same level of respect. And that was like one of the character things I've seen in you.
And I think that's
because I know a lot of dickhead promoters out there.
Well, I think that helps with the longevity of why I've been in this for so long. I mean, you can make quick money, you can just go after the athletes, or you can kind of spread yourself out to whoever it is, and you just be that person to it doesn't matter. It matters sometimes at the bank at the end of the day, but in terms of being nice or kind to people or treating everybody with respect, I mean, you get it back too. If there's some times where sometimes I can't do things where I capacity to this. You just tell the person straight up. It's not a no. You always answer people no matter what it is. I think people respect that and always hit you back.
Right. The response is always like instant. There's no like waiting.
The phone's always in my hand.
The phone's always in your hand.
Ridiculous.
It's always in your hand. You're always on. Actually, that's 100%. Jeff London. If there's no phone in his hand, he's going
phone's
through
right there.
Oh yeah, the phone's right there. Yeah.
Like I've never. This is how Jeff is. You'll text him. He'll get you in.
Yeah.
He'll come get you if he needs to. If not, he'll come. If there's a list, he'll fucking come down and get. He's got me in plenty of times.
I'm so glad I didn't meet you 10 years ago.
Like, bro. And then he'll come. This is what Jeff will do. He'll come get you. He'll get you all in. VIP makes you feel love, makes you feel like special shit. Get you in the club. Walks you to the table, and then you're gonna be like, "Hey, I want to hang out with Jeff," and Jeff's like gone because he's got to do other like 100,000 things. Yeah. And I'm like, "Hey, Jeff, come party with me."
Yeah, I rarely hang out like at one spot for more than a couple minutes. It's always going. It's quick. Yeah,
yeah. But I've noticed recently too. Like, I think I don't know, man. Like, I haven't like COVID for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I felt like there was like you actually were like conversing more. Like a little bit more, like after like COVID and stuff, like you were like a little bit more like easy to access more because it felt like you were a little bit more happier, like you were like you were showing more of like yourself more a little bit.
Yeah, I
could
think
be
that,
wrong.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I mean, I think that after 2 years, I went so strong for 15 to 18 years straight. Of just working, and I didn't, I'd take vacations here and there, but never really stopped. And then when that hit, I just, not only for me, but for so many other people, I didn't know what was next. Were nightclubs never going to exist again? What do I, I've been doing it so long. What was my next move?
Sure.
And I had a lot of time, about 2 years to sit on it, and it was, I also transferred, over to Big Night, which was a huge step because I had been working with 617, and that was my company, and Ace and everybody for 17 plus years, and just that transitioning to a new company, being able to do what I loved again, opening up. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it was, a happy time for me.
Talk about
to be
that, like
back.
real second. Like, was that like a particular decision you ultimately wanted to do, and was it hard for you to kind of get to that point, or
Yeah, it
or
was,
did you just have like a cut to the chase moment? It was like, I got to just do this.
no, it was extremely hard to leave something that and people that I loved was for 17 years. I mean, not only, just Ace and Dimitri and my business partners, Ace, I mean, Sal and Frankie had kind of moved on already, but to transition out of that, the owners and that I worked with so long and just so comfortable with, to a brand new place where I wasn't the top dog and there was in a more corporate company.
Yeah.
It was a very hard decision. It was hard to, I told Ace through the whole process. I mean, everybody knew through the whole process, the interview process that I was going through, that I was doing it. But yeah, it was extremely hard.
Sure.
And when I got the job, I was so excited to get the job and start something new, but also nerve-wracking and also scary too, Right. But those phone calls to the owners and things like that, those are a very hard day.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I still talk to them all the time, of course, but yeah, it was a hard day. But in the end, I think I made the right decision. I kind of hit a plateau where Big Night was gonna, there wasn't a kind of a ceiling where I can hit, I can move on. They have a multitude of things to do,
Right.
including podcasts, including
Right. Versatile.
yeah. I mean,
Options.
so many different options. So
Because you're pretty. I mean, like a creative dude. Like you came from.
try to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, right.
Try to be.
There is a
I think,
business to it. Yeah.
Some people call it creative. Some people call it absolutely fucking crazy. So I mean, I'm not a normal person, and I think that's helped me, through everything. But yeah, I've been real happy with the decision so far. So
I do, yeah, because when I used to party a lot, and you're pretty much like predominantly probably the most significant person in Boston, because for so many years you just hooked up people to fuck, like in clubs. Like I mean, I was
yeah, I mean, I think
indirectly, but probably not. But I'm just saying, like, you created an atmosphere for people just to have fun and like.
and maybe a few divorces.
Hey,
Could be a few divorces,
listen, man,
yeah.
another man,
There's so many times that I've gotten blamed. Oh, I'm hanging out with Jeff
Oh,
London
shit,
tonight.
really?
Oh, yeah. I'm hanging out with Jeff London. Oh, you're hanging out with Jeff again. Why are you blaming me for that shit? You coming in? Oh,
that's-
big time.
I-
Yeah,
oh, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's the opposite end to it. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot of kids.
Yeah, just having fun and just being like, creating that shit.
absolutely.
That's
yeah.
fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
That's
yeah.
like, and like I said, part of, like you said, one of the important thing I noticed was like, and it will, I'm gonna ask you some other questions, but
I'll give you a good one.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt you. There is probably one of the most famous wrestlers of all time met his wife at District and married her, and is still married to her.
okay, let me guess who it is.
All right.
Let me guess who it is. Papa Shango.
So close. So close.
Fucking Papa Shango. Come on, bro. I mean, by default, I had
It
to.
had to go publish.
Who was it though?
The Rock.
Oh, was it when he was filming that movie during that time in Boston?
It was. Yes, it was filming the first movie. Yeah. Well, this is.
Yeah, a
I
while
think he's
ago.
been married. Yeah, and she was a District. Yeah,
Oh.
I believe she was working there at the time. Yeah, he's still married to her. She's from Linfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So they met that. Yeah, and they've been married ever since. Yeah.
Like a Nancy Kerrigan type of shorty.
That could be a good comparison. Yeah.
Just right?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Just I don't know, it's just me, bro, because every time I just if any girl that's from Linfield, I just think Nancy Kerrigan right away. Like that's just it comes automatically to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to answer that. I'm just letting you know that's what I think about it.
Like, if you get hate on from Linfield.
No, I love it. No, Linfield's great. I mean, it's a beautiful word.
Anything north of Boston is all right by me.
Yeah, yeah.
Metro,
Yeah. All right.
West Roxbury, Rosedale are included in it.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Thank you.
he's
Thank you, West Roxbury. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate that.
Shout out to the Japanese school in Jamaica Plain.
I was thinking of the Yeah, and I was talking about myself, and I was like, "Oh, Jeff has seen me in different stages in my life."
Sure.
One time I was a working guy, just wanted to have fun and pulling up to clubs and just getting chicks, so trying to get chicks, whatever. You go through that phase, and then you end up, for me, kind of back to me when you were just talking about how you just kind of made that sacrifice to go a different direction and to chase, I guess, your dreams or chase your thing.
Sure.
That's what I did, and because I was kind of living vicariously, kind of like through other people's experiences. For me personally, and I was just like, which is, I don't know if it's bad or good, but for me, I just, at some point, I would be in your clubs, and I'd be watching everyone, observing everybody, and just being like, damn, man, like, they're having fun, and these are like talented people. I can probably do that. Why not I try it? Like, like, what's so like different between them and me? I mean, I'm at the same fucking section, so it's like,
right,
or whatever.
No, absolutely.
So I'm just like, let me try something I love to do and see, just put myself into me and then see what I can come. And I wanted to do comedy, and then, and then that it just kind of came to now, consistency.
No, absolutely,
right?
Consistency, and just just going and trying something new is always. I mean, I always say, the worst things that can happen is somebody says no.
Right.
You always go for that and try things out. Because you don't know, you don't want to have regret. And I think regret is, or looking back on something, what if I didn't do that? Go try it out,
Right.
Even if there's a lot of people that go and try things out in Miami, every
Right.
auto girl thinks that they're going to be at Live the next day. So they go down there, right? They come back, some of them stay down there. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. People are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it didn't. No, they tried. They give them, they made the effort. It didn't work out.
I am going, by the way, next month, Jeff.
They became an eyelash technician and now doing real estate. But yeah, that's a natural progression.
That's a progression.
Yeah. But they made the effort. They, they did it. They came back. Nobody's going to make fun of them. Nobody's going to remember in 6 months,
No.
So, I always, people may make fun of them that they went out there and tried to, work in Vegas or, Miami. But I give them commends that, they tried it,
They tried it, right.
Some of them works out, some of them are still down there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure you've probably seen people that you've like seen, through your history of like the nightlife industry and just, with the music and everything. You've probably known somebody and one person for me who sticks out, right? Because it's interesting. Because Boston dudes, right? If you're talented and creative and got some balls and you're consistent, you're gonna. Boston dudes do pretty okay in this industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I think I think there's a correlation with. I think there's a parallel to that. There's a connection to like. I think where we're from, just like the tough mindedness, and then like not fucking around. What I mean?
Absolutely. If you go to Vegas and see the doormen or the managers or Miami, some of the biggest clubs, a lot of them are from Boston. And I think it's just our mindset and our work ethic that they love to see. You have these chilled, laid out people in California. Not everybody is, just making generalizations, but then you have these hardworking, that tough out the winter, sitting at the door and have been through a lot of tough stuff. That their mindset, and hard work ethic, and Vegas, I can name probably 6 or 7 like VIP hosts that are there. Miami, same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I like guys like just to even name a few, like even business guys like George Selko.
Greg Selko.
Greg Selko. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, George is his brother. And then guys like Dana White.
Absolutely.
I mean, even take comedians, Joe Rogan,
Sure,
Louis C.K., all these like comedians, Dane
absolutely.
Cook.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty
absolutely.
dope.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have, absolutely got started and, made the effort or ventured out, but they still have the Boston roots.
What do you see the, one of the big questions I want to ask you, right, is, number one is the difference, the shift of the industry from what it used to be before into what it is now. And what is your vision for it going forward? Because you've been in many decades of music and shit. You know?
Yeah. So you see a musical change. A lot of it's cyclical. So you see like, if you were in the 90s and you're at Avalon and Avalanche, the house music, explosion. And then it's
Nicky,
and then it's coming back. And the same with hip hop. There was no hip hop clubs in Boston at all, and now everybody plays at least some hip hop. I mean, I think Venue was one of the most consistent hip hop clubs, and there are other smaller clubs, but hip hop is played every club every night. Except for some of the big house clubs. But I think with that, I think bottle service has changed a lot of clubs, but it's now to the point where it was mega clubs like Avalanche and Roxy and bigger clubs. Then it went small, stuff like District and more intimate lounges.
Yeah, I did see that shift, right?
And now it's a big mix of both. You have, for example, Big Night Live, where it's a 2,000 person combination of nightclub and concert venue with VIP, which is something totally different.
Wow,
which is great.
It's like one-stop shopping.
It is
like a Walmart. But like more of higher, like a YSL Walmart.
like a high end Walmart.
like a YSL Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like Ferragamo.
Yeah. And then there's a difference in which is funny too, is a difference we were talking about the other day. The difference in alcohol now.
Oh, what do you mean?
So back in the day when bottle service, it's just Grey Goose.
Right, Belvedere.
Yeah, a little champagne. Mostly vodka. Now everything's tequila, champagne.
Oh,
Grey Goose still, still a huge name brand, but the difference in drinks, and just some of the drinks that were kind of, a fad too.
A fad, right?
Hypnotic.
Oh, bro, Hypnotic. That's not.
There was another one too.
Hypnotic still sells. Shout out to Fat Joe, by the way. He's an ambassador for them. You know that?
No, and there was
Alizé.
Well, I was like, but we didn't really sell bottles of Alizé, yeah.
Right.
Like, maybe you drank your Mad Dog 2020 before you came, but there was this Nuvo. I don't know if you remember Nuvo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was hot for like a month. But even champagnes, I mean, we probably sell there's one customer that I know of that drinks Cristal. But Cristal was like a champagne,
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, he still drinks Cristal?
It's a white guy too, though.
Bro.
Yeah.
First of all, dude, if anyone, like, holy shit, if I ever saw someone order a Cristal next to me, first of all, I would probably call fucking Homeland Security. Like fucking number one, dude. Because that, me,
love it.
Dude, that's like me seeing a guy with a fucking trench coat leather jacket right now. Yeah. I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
it's pretty odd. So we have to like special order it for this guy when he comes in. But I haven't had the conversation with him yet. But I'm like, bro, we gotta stop. Yeah. We gotta switch it up, bro. Yeah.
He's got spinners on his car. He's really living that early 2000s.
You know, does he have like?
He doesn't wear lugs though. Yeah, he doesn't wear lugs.
He's got like a NSX, like a NSX, like a '96.
Yeah.
He's got a PT Cruiser with spinners.
Yeah, I mean it's but I'm trying to bring him into some other champagne. Yeah,
that's another thing too, because that's another part of your job is like kind of like a luxury lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Damn, Jeff, you fucking do a lot of shit.
I do a lot.
Holy shit, you do a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, whenever I make it, you don't need to, think about that right now. But whenever that is, right?
We're having a Cristal party.
Dude.
I give you all the Cristal.
Dude, I'm swear to God, are you going to be the first guy I text?
I appreciate it.
I don't know why. When it comes to, I'm just like, I gotta text Jeff. Text Jeff. Who's a Cristal guy? Literally, Jeff will have a guy within fucking 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll get a guy. Yeah.
I would ask you to manage me though, dude. Imagine that, bro. I'm not trying to like take you away from your company, but think about it, right? If you manage comedians, right? All you're doing is a dude and a mic.
It's just the same people that you're managing now, but with no money.
Perfect.
It's the same thing.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, I guess
just a bunch of idiots.
I'm number
but these idiots have no money.
Fuck.
Deal. I'm in.
What is? Let me ask you a question. The most as far as a celebrity or any particular figure for you was the person that you were like, I wouldn't say like shocked, but more of the kind of like holy shit, like I'm like this, I'm working with this guy right now. Anyone sticks out to you? Like was like interesting enough to you? That was like you always
Yeah,
want to
I mean,
like,
a lot of people.
meet?
I think more in the beginning is when, especially for me growing up in Boston sports, it's kind of like the Boston sports figures,
Oh.
And then I was like, wow, they're texting me, or like you go to the game and pass by and like, what up, Jeff? You're just like, it's kind of surreal to you. Yeah, I mean, just like, and then you don't get used to it, but you kind of like, once you see a lot of celebs, you're like, it's pretty surreal.
You know what?
I think actually when, people like, well, Post Malone, who's now, I see a lot of, and was backstage, brought backstage to his concert a couple months ago. But Bieber's the one that introduced me to him, which is pretty crazy because he's on tour with Bieber.
He's on tour with Bieber.
Yeah.
I was Bieber.
And that was through his shout out to Lou Bell and everybody, all his producers and writers and everybody. But yeah, that connection was pretty crazy. And then Bieber did some off the wall shit at Storyville or whatever it is.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. You want to know a fun fact? We actually got shut down for one day because Bieber was ripping in Newports in the club.
Yeah.
And we got in trouble for it.
Let me ask you. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah.
When a venue's like, hey, there's a rule here, we can't have this, right? But then I'm sure you tell like the people, okay, you can't do this in the contracts, right? But let's just say you work with you have a contract with Snoop.
Yeah.
And Snoop is like coming in. Yeah, the contract says you can't smoke in a venue. Are you telling Snoop he can't fucking smoke? Like, I don't understand these venues. Like, what?
Well, we didn't have a contract with Bieber. He just showed up. I mean, I knew about an hour beforehand, but yeah, no, you don't tell anybody. Really.
I just don't understand. Like, to tell.
There is a story of when Tyson came to Rumor back in the day that the owner told him to jump off the couch, and somebody had to go tell Mike Tyson to get off the couch.
Oh shit!
And that was.
Shit.
And guess what Mike Tyson did? He got off the couch.
Yeah. If you
I was waiting for somebody to get knocked out, but yeah.
You gotta send someone like me over to be like, Mike, look,
you gotta go with the with a voice.
I'm sorry.
You gotta.
Yeah, that was a rough one. Yeah, but you usually don't tell people. I mean, you don't tell them. They do their own thing.
You can do your thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know. The reason why I just asked that is because sometimes, when I did comedy at a comedy club, a particular comedy club, I worked with Donnell Rawlings, and then the comedy club was like, no, they made a fuss about it, and I was like, Donnell was like, I told him, I was like, Donnell, you can't smoke in here, and he literally looked at me, was like, nigga, I sold this bitch out 2 shows. I'm smoking some weed.
Oh yeah.
I was like, fair enough. It's like I was like, fair enough. You sold it out. You gave him money for tonight. I'm sorry.
I mean, one time the owner told a huge rap artist that he couldn't come in because he was in shorts, and it was Busta Rhymes. What? And I was running to the door because I knew he was coming up, and the owner's out there, and all I hear is Busta Rhymes talking in the third person. You're gonna tell Busta Rhymes he can't come in shorts? Busta Rhymes came in shorts, but yeah, he came right in. But yeah, I didn't know who he was. So,
First of all, if you're telling a guy with the first prefix in his name, Busta,
yeah,
he's already.
He was like, "Am I on some TMZ shit?" You know, tell he was talking in third person. I was loving it. I was like, "Oh, get this guy in there now." Yeah.
I do know when things are going when things don't make sense. You would just you would just walk away because you're just like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah. And Spliff, I was hyping him up behind him.
So back to the question. So there was one person. Oh yeah, you did mention it was who was of The Rock, right? No, it wasn't The Rock. Or did you pick somebody that I said that connected with you? No.
Yeah, I mean it's tough.
It's tough. Sports figures.
Yeah, I mean, I think originally sports figures, and then they're calling you and texting you fuck, that's pretty dope. Yeah.
I want to ask you something too, right? One too. I also want to ask you too is how do you manage dealing with different types of people? Because you have to have a certain, I guess. Would you say thick skin or just more of you obviously don't take things personal.
No, not in the least bit. No.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take things personal. How I deal with a lot of people is because they're there for the same reasons, to party, to have fun, and get girls. So they all have kind of one goal at the end of the day, and just party.
Right.
So, but you have to deal with like all the stuff in between. But the end goal is almost the same for everybody.
How many fake? I know you're just like, how many fake ballers hit you up, and they're just like, dude, I want like 3 tables, dude, and then like, oh, and how many? Come on, there's got to be like a lot of that.
Oh, ton, yeah. I send them a link for a deposit.
they don't send the deposit.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't. Yeah. Oh well, we only take deposits. So.
Who are the best tippers? Best tippers, worst tippers?
Great question.
The best tippers, I think, are people that you wouldn't realize, or who you think would tip. I think it's like people that are in their 40s or 50s. That's their night out, and they're on the company card, and they're ordering non-Cristal, and just partying it up, and they have 3 waitresses on them, and they haven't seen, pretty 21-year-old girls, and just having the time of their life, and think that, a large tip means like they get the girl forever. I think those people tip really well. I think sometimes when people have large entourages, they think somebody else is tipping.
Oh,
and then they don't tip.
I did that before.
So yeah, that happens a bunch. I mean,
biggest tab you've ever seen?
Huge ones, huge.
I really want to guess the numbers. I mean, these are not private public information. If they're not, I won't
tell you.
You want? No, don't tell me. Definitely don't tell me.
I want to say like just north of $500,000
for one night. It was pretty close.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, I mean, if you win like a championship and you just go nuts.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Everybody gets bottles.
Everybody gets bottles. Yeah.
Everybody.
We were running out. Yeah, I mean,
do you even plan? How do you even plan for that type of? You got to have
It's pretty crazy.
What?
Because we have to
and instantly get shit, right? Like just get stuff.
Yeah, I mean, plan if win or lose. Yeah, but yeah, I've seen that. But just like a one person like tab, like a group of 10 to like 20. I mean, tabs can get up 50, 60 easily for like 2 hours for fun.
For fun, yeah. God damn it! I gotta, Nick, get this podcast going, dude.
Break down like the dynamics. Break down the kind of like beginning to end of a high profile person coming in. What's getting set up? How are they ushered through?
Yeah. So some of them,
like if I was dressed up like with fucking purple.
Yeah.
fur.
So some of them request like cars and things like that. Oh. Some request just to get picked up in like sprinters, or some requests, I want to rent like. I'm in town. I want to rent a Lambo for the night, or I have a whole entourage. We gotta get 2 sprinters and 5 Lambos.
Can I get a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, Jeff? That's
you got it. Yeah,
that's what I'd be calling you for.
Then security. It all depends. I mean, we have a club in the casino, so it's a little bit different. Some people, get the casino to start doing things for them, and that's a lot easier when the casino is putting in whatever you need and everything. Mostly they just want some people want to be in the spotlight right next to the DJ booth. Some people want to be in the cut. Some people want the huge light show. Some people just want bring the bottles over. Some people want it to be filled with pretty girls. Some people just want them and the boys, and just let's hang out. So it all depends on the night of the person, and that's how you kind of you decipher that, and through talking to them, what they want.
Yeah. I think Jeff's because dude, I deal with a lot of promoters, just in whatever I have, and God, Jeff is like the most chillest, coolest dude. He won't even there's promoters that will still hit me up to today and just try to be like, come, I got you. Like, come. You're just like, you're just like, I'm here. If you need me, my phone's open. If you want something, I'll get it for you.
That's all it is.
And I feel like people that got things going on, they're not,
pushy.
They're friendly, but they're letting the stuff come to them.
Absolutely.
You're kind of letting the
Absolutely,
business
yeah.
come to them.
Yeah.
Is there a tiered limit? I know in casinos you spend a certain amount of money. There's got to be behind the scenes a certain like tier bracket of like this person spends 10K to 100K. What's that like for you guys, or what have you seen?
Yeah, I mean,
just
we
in
have
general, maybe?
we have like a top 10, we have like a top 20, and we do some parties and different things for a top 10 customer.
Listen, the reason why he's asking, he's Lebanese, so he's don't let the modesty. He's got a little.
If someone were to
Jeff.
come in and say,
don't. These questions are going somewhere, Jeff. Don't think these questions don't mean shit, dog. Fuck with him, son. Let him know, son.
say someone were to branch off and start their own business.
No, I mean, yeah, there's different things, but I mean, always just treat. I mean, what we want always as well is that customer that's doing the 2,500, but every Saturday. I mean, every 2 nights or whatever it is. We kind of want those customers as well. We want customers. We just don't want the one time. We love the one time 20,000 ones, but you have these customers that come to all the events. Over 52 weeks. That's
crazy.
Yeah, they're spending a good chunk of change.
That's
we
actually
always want the repeat customers.
That's a great point. That's like I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. That's a great point because as soon as you said that, it's kind of mirrors comedy as a stand-up comic. Because for me, I would want returning fans, core fans, I'm sorry, or people who follow me. And I don't hate to say the word fans, but people who just follow me who are just consistent with me and stay with me versus like the one person who just comes to one show.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like the same. It's the same rule. Like the Patrice O'Neal, rule.
Or you could do it in comedy. Do you want to do one enormous show in Vegas, or do you want to do like a tour of 52 cities?
Yeah.
I think you'd want to reach out to more. Is it just having one thing on your resume?
Which show is your comedy show for Jeff London? Which is the show that's like for comedy? It's like that did it for you. Like that does it for you.
What do you mean in terms of comedy?
Like it's like. Did you ever like watch like stand-up comedy as a kid?
Yeah.
Like who's your
absolutely.
guy, or was there a show that was like?
I mean, like old school, like Don Rickles by far.
Oh, Don,
Oh yeah,
that's a gun show.
Books outside. We got the Don Rickles book outside.
Oh yeah, by far.
Don Rickles, dude.
I mean, imagine just like saying whatever the fuck you want,
Dude,
like,
the
anywhere.
Soprano, the Frank Sinatra story when he's in Vegas.
Yeah.
He goes over to Frank and he's like, I got a girl with me. Would you mind just like coming over and saying hi, Frank? Frank's like, sure, anything for you, Don. Frank Sinatra gets up from his table, walks over, and says, hey, Don, how's it going? Don goes, can't you see I'm eating, Frank?
He's like, not now, Frank. Not now, Frank. I got a girl.
Dead.
Not now, Frank. And to see that.
Love that.
Like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah.
That's legendary. Wow. Whenever I thought you said Don, I would never have pictured like Don Rickles like you were saying.
But I mean, I love all types of comedy. Yeah. No, I'm a big,
Don Rickles.
I'm trying to think who's seen live recently. Last year I saw Bert.
Kreischer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
That's funny. You definitely I could see you as a Bert Kreischer. Yeah, you like.
Well, because I just love it. I mean, you can say what. I mean, you can't do anything that he does now.
He'd be a great guest. I could see Bert doing very well
I mean,
in
but
a
he'd
club.
be so canceled. Oh, Bert. Yeah, but Don. I mean, he'd be canceled.
Oh yeah. Well, the funniest thing that was a joke that Don Rickles did when he was hosting, I guess, a Ronald Reagan like event.
Oh, I've
and
seen
Webster comes up, like little Webster, who was like a kid. He just comes up. And he's like, and Webster tries it as a joke, and he goes, "Be funny," and then Don Rickles instantly goes, "First black kid I never was waiting to make the NBA or something." I was like, I laughed at the joke because it's so funny. I'm sorry. It
was so that one was funny with Ronald Reagan when he's talking about the security and pretends he's shot Secret Service.
Those guys. Those old style comics, man. They still resonate. For me, it was the first person for me was like was actually Martin Lawrence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in the Martin Show.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and then New York Undercover. Those shows like that.
I mean, it was amazing him to play all those different characters too. Shanae.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous.
It was so ridiculous. Yeah,
I knew the whole lineup on for that Thursday night. It was Living Single first, and then there was Martin after that. He had that 8:30 Fox spot, And then right after that was New York Undercover.
Well, I think that in that time period too, I think in terms of comedy and stuff like that, which kind of broke the scene, obviously, was In Living Color, which is around there too. I mean, I think, if you think about all the people on that show that broke, they had huge careers after that. What? I mean, do you know who the DJ was on that show?
Actually, I do. He had it was. I think it's one of the Keenan's brothers, right? One of the Keenan's.
His name on the show was SW1. It's DJ SW1, but it was Sean Wayne's. Yeah.
It was it was Sean Wayne's. Yeah, that was Sean Wayne's.
He went by SW1 on the show. Yeah, he was like the DJ in the corner who really didn't. He fake DJ, but yeah, but that's And I think those shows like that. I mean, you had Def Comedy Jam, and you had like those kind of shows, which really. Broke so many people. Yeah.
It's crazy because like that era, like me and Nick. I mean, Nick's a little younger, you know, but like he had a. This is the thing too about Nick. he had a starter jacket, so.
I think the fans that all three of us would have been friends in high school. I feel like
big time.
We would have hung out with completely separate groups, but somehow found a way to.
He wore a starter jacket, a Celtics one. Like I had an.
I respect the Celtics one
though. Yeah, because Nick's like Boston. This kid, I've never seen a kid get anxiety from watching a Boston sports team fucking go through like a loss. Like this guy has a fucking anxiety. He has Xanax ready to go. Like,
I was doing the ESPN trade machine for Jason Tatum. Game 6.
Yeah.
I was like, how are we going to get Joker?
You back on the train, though?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I had a little... We're back.
We're back.
We're big Jaylen Brown fans, but we're also big Jason Tatum fans. He wants to stay. He sounds like he wants to stay. I don't know if you saw this.
I love it.
I love it.
You see those guys, I'm sure, quite a bit, right? Coming through,
yeah. Actually, Jason.
The way he said all the time.
Jason's father is closer to me in age, so we hang out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Great kid. Yeah. The first. I got a good. You want to hear a good Tatum story?
Yeah, I do.
This one I can tell. It's fine to tell.
Yeah, it's fine.
So the first time I ever
Tatum's like the Chris Brown of like the NBA, but like when he was more cleaner.
Way cleaner.
Yeah, way cleaner. See, you didn't let me finish. I was gonna let me finish when he was like when he was like dancing Chris. Sorry, Tatum. I'm never gonna get tickets. My bad. Don't affiliate me with Jeff. It's all me. Sorry.
I think the only. Yeah, they're both light skinned. That's about the only thing they're.
That's the only thing. Sorry.
So
what's your Tatum?
His father. The first time he was a rookie, his father was kind of like managing him or something. It was a Vegas guy that was from Boston. He met him at the pool party, or I think the draft was there. He's like, you got to link up with Ace and Jeff. So we set up his rookie year. Somebody called us for a Sweet 16 party, and like he's a big Celtics guy. We got to have some Celtics, whatever it is.
Right.
She had money. She's like, whatever it is, we got to get some Celtics over there. So we're trying, like, who would work? So it was Scary Terry and Jason. So we picked them up. I don't think they may have met before because this is like the beginning. So we picked them up in like an SUV. I'm sitting there, and we pick up Jason at his like dad's or mom's apartment at the time.
Wow.
And we bring him, give him the money. We bring him to Kowloon for a Sweet 16 birthday party. And at this time, I mean, it was probably like 6 years ago maybe.
Right.
I don't know how long he's been there. He's 24, 25, so he's probably like 18, 19. And so he gets to the party, and these are all 16-year-olds are so excited to see Terry and Jason. And Jason's like, Terry's just chilling by the DJ, and just probably telling them to play some like dirty hip hop. And Jason, all of a sudden, he see me, he's like dancing with the kids and everything like that. And then I realized, I'm like, he's only like a year or two older than these 16-year-olds. And I'm like, he's probably loving it because he's probably, that's what he's used to, like high school dances were like 2 years ago for him, so he was probably like, he was just like loving it. And then I'm like, holy shit, he's only like 2 years older than these kids. It's probably his age group,
He graduated from recess.
Yeah. I mean, he probably 1 year in college, he was out, so like 2 years before that, he was in high school.
That's hilarious.
So I was just like, why is he just like hanging with these kids? And I'm like, oh, it's the age group, It was pretty funny.
Tatum loves the kids, man.
Tatum loves the kids, yeah. But now, I mean, he's now like obviously
he's a stud.
hanging with the older people at the club now. But
Yeah, he was because you know obviously to the 2008 Celtics when they won the championship.
Yeah, that was an amazing year.
Yeah, in versus you kind of have like also with the times too, like evolved with the times too, like the people that they bring in.
Sure.
Because athletes, always constantly change.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you just make the relationships. I mean, and then when the rookies come in, you take care of the rookies, and especially like during training camps and things like that. Some of the older guys aren't around, but they show, they learn from the older guys like who to hang out with, where to eat, where to hang out, where to get an apartment, things like that. So the older guys kind of teach them, when they get into town, where to go and stuff like that.
Right.
So and luckily enough, they've been nice to the older guys, so they help me with the younger guys. But yeah,
well, you pay things forward, right? Absolutely. Everything is like I believe for me, everything is based on relationships. Your currency is relationships, really, in my opinion. Obviously, it's good to get paid for what you love to do.
Absolutely.
But before you can actually get that actual money, how do you get it? You need people.
100%. Absolutely.
A lot of people like to. I know. I feel like there is a lot of people who like to lean into like the individualism of building yourself.
Yeah.
And which I understand because confidence. You need confidence within yourself to get to a certain point. But to your point, is that. You become who you surround yourself with, and what you allow in. So you need people to get you to the place you want to be,
right.
And you're going to have negative, you're going to have positive, but if you stay with it, the negative, positive outweigh the negative.
That's what you hope. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, but man, we're going to have to do like a part 2 to this because,
I'm ready.
Because, there's a lot of things I want to, ask you about, and just in terms of, because I can see, I guess I can ask you this in conclusion. Right?
Sure.
And then we'll leave you with this. Well, 2 parts to that. One, if you could tell your 21-year-old self when you were 21 now, what advice would you give them?
It's a difficult question. I think I've done things I've made mistakes, and I wouldn't tell my old self not to make those mistakes because I think I've learned from those mistakes. And I think if I didn't make those mistakes, I wouldn't put myself in some of those situations. I would. I would also marry that girl I met at District. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to ever tell my old self like what to do. I think I've gone the path and I've learned things and I'm happy with what I have done. I think I would have saved more money for when COVID hit.
Right.
I think I would have, I made some investments and chose not to make some investments that would have went either way.
Sure.
But if those investments that I chose to do were successful and I went a different route, I don't know if I'll be happy. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I am. I wish I, I don't know. That's an amazing question. Yeah. I don't think I love that question, but I don't think I would change a lot of things because I think I went on the path and this is what I've chose to do. If I could ultimately, get somewhere without making those mistakes, yes. Sure. But I don't think I've made any, mistakes that are,
sounds like
I didn't, do anything crazy that, that I regret. It's just, simple mistakes that I've learned from.
For sure. Yeah. It sounds like, it sounds like you just, there's not really much that you would tell yourself at 21 because it seems like you believe that every single situation that you, I guess, either created or it happened, you learned from, and it ultimately got you to the place you are now. So you would say probably just continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah, continue what I do. I tighten up a few things. Yeah. Yeah. Tell myself that Cristal wasn't the cool thing to drink in 20 years, but yeah.
According to the Lebanese prince over there,
Still
Might be coming back around. I'm just saying. Might be making a comeback.
Cut to the Chase podcast, guys. This is my man Jeff London. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
I really
much.
appreciate your time. You guys, please subscribe, like, and share the podcast. We out. Peace.
Peace.